it's only a matter of time.
As you will have heard, Bundaberg have been hit very hard by the 2013 floods. This video was filmed at the end of 2012. Bundaberg is the home of a famous aviator and a famous polar bear. But what about hockey?
Bundaberg Hockey Association started here in 1933. We had one grass field. I think there was 7 men's clubs at that stage and about 4 women's clubs. I'm not exactly sure on the history of that, but it was something like that from what I've heard. We did have a lot of history stuff, but it's been destroyed in a flood in 2010. So unfortunately, I can't go back on all those records, and a lot of people that were there now aren't there anymore. We did have the one grass field. In 1947, we went to an additional 2 grass fields. And then in 1958, we had the New Zealand national team come and play here. They played 2 games, I think one against the Queensland side and against our local side here. Unfortunately, I think they beat us both times. Our surface went down in 1991, that was the sand base. Our water base went down in end of 2003, start 2004. And we've been going from strength to strength since then. We got a tennis court set up over there. It was set up for tennis and for junior hockey. Unfortunately, it doesn't get used for that much anymore. We found it's because it's not laid properly, it's very hard on kids' feet, so we decided it's not in their best interest. Once the water base went down, Hockey Queensland then had a database set up, and we've noticed a decline in numbers since 2005. It was probably a steady decline before that, but it's been more noticeable since the database has been set up. We've employed a development officer. He started last year. It's Dylan Elliott. He's an ex-Blades player. Dylan's got these fantastic ideas of how he wants to increase our numbers, and I'd like to hand over to him now so he can explain it.
Dave and I have done a lot of research looking at what other sports have been doing and how they're bringing people into their systems and what they're doing to retain them. So we're not looking at reinventing the wheel. We're just going to have a look at what's working laterally in other sports and see if we can get those things going here. So I think one of the key things that we found in our research was small-sided games for children. They get more touches on the ball, and that seems to increase their enjoyment of the game. So we're going to have an environment where the children play for the association banner rather than for a club, under 11s down, and where you modify the team, so our under 7s will be 4 aside, under 9s will be 6 aside or 7 aside, and our under 11s will be 7 aside as well. And we modify the size of the field, because the research that we've gotten from football, soccer, there's a lot of research out there. We've got papers from Man U, Cologne University in Germany, Liverpool Institute, is that field size has a direct correlation on how many shots at goal you get. So we're going to modify the field size in the hope that we get more skillful goalkeepers and more skillful strikers. And with the junior banner, there'll be an ongoing coach mentoring system, so that we're making sure that we're looking after the people that are investing into our youth. And on the side note of that, we've also started a Bundaberg Academy of Hockey it's a continuation of the rep program essentially, but it's to better prepare those athletes for the challenges that they'll face at state titles, but it's also partly a player retention strategy as well, because our numbers have been declining steadily since '05.
Well, Bundaberg's population is around about 63,000, and last count our numbers were around about 400 members in the association, so that's juniors and seniors. It's not a high percentage. It's not as high as we'd like, and that's what we need to work on to try and get those numbers back up. We need to increase our juniors to increase our senior numbers. With our seniors, we have 4 men's teams in our men's team comp and 5 in our women's team. Those clubs, they play in the Premier League competition between Bundaberg, Maryborough, Hervey Bay and Gympie. We do quite well. We seem to be up there with some of the best of them. We've won quite a few, I think, from what I can gather. We do have some players representing the state still. We have a number of vets players representing the state. I think we've got about 8 men and 4 women representing Queensland, which is good, but the problem we got is that middle age bracket. So these vets players have been playing for a few years. We can see our numbers have declined, and our core group of say 18 to 25-year-olds, we're very light on the ground of state players. I think we might have about 3 or 4. Our most famous player is probably Troy Elder. He played for Australia. He's played overseas in the Netherlands. He's still playing for the Blades. We do have an under-16 player, Katie Steamson. She's playing for Australia in the under-16 comp. She's made Queensland in the schoolgirls, Australia in the schoolgirls, so she's done quite well. We do have another young gentleman, Lewis Dexter. He's going off to Thailand, I think it is, to play in the Indigenous side over there, so he's done quite well. We also have Josh Stacey, who's over in England at the moment. He got contacted by Griffin Hockey to come over and help coach and play in their series over there to try and boost themselves, but also it's boosting him up as well. We have Joel Latham, who plays for Bundaberg, and he's at the QAS. Past players, we've had Carol Quate. She was an Australian representative. I think it was 1976, 78, something like that. We've had the likes of Jim Quate. He was a ex-Hockey Queensland president, so he's done quite well. He's a president of the Bundaberg Association here for a while and for Hockey Queensland. Part of Dylan's role is to work with our senior players and hopefully boost them up into the ranks of Australian representation.
One of the major challenges with a small membership base is to have a competition where the standard is high enough to develop these senior athletes to the level that they need to be when they get transitioned to the QAS. We've got Emily Clark, who is 17. She's made the under-21 Queensland squad. She's also in the under-18 squad with Katie Steamson. So we're doing a lot of work with Craig Martin, who's a level 3 accredited coach. Him and I get together probably 3 times a week, and at the moment we're training those girls in preparation for trials February, March. There's also Louis Dexter going away with the Indigenous side early February, so he's training 3 times a week in preparation for that as well. So it's just about getting the consistency of the training and getting the athletes to recognise that they need to invest that time into hockey so that they can go further. The future for Bundaberg hockey does look extremely bright. We've got about 400 members, and we've brainstormed some good ways to reduce the barriers to playing the sport. One of the biggest is probably cost. So we've got the junior banner next year starting that will, for under 11s down, that will significantly reduce the cost of playing hockey. And in that framework, there's a lot of preparation and research gone into that. As far as the seniors go, we've got Premier League and a lot of athletes interested in participating in Super League this year, which is a really good thing for them. And we'll be making the preparation so that they are best prepared to go and do what they want to do.
Also for the future, we do need some facility upgrades here. We do have lights to put up. We've got the lights, we've just got to get them put up. I'd love to see some more grandstands down the side. I'd love to see a new clubhouse. They're all things we need to work on though. I think sponsorship's one of our biggest issues. Being a small town, 63,000 might sound like a lot, but there's not a lot of people willing to hand over money just at this present moment in time. We've identified that growing our youth participation in our fantastic sport here of hockey in Bundaberg is something that we need to focus on, and if we can't do that, I can't see us moving forward.
One of the things that we've identified for the future is that we live in an information technology world now. Getting information is incredibly easy with the internet, and we've created a YouTube channel, Bundy Hockey, and it's linked into the Hockey Zone and also to Hockey Australia YouTube channels, so that our members can go to one YouTube account and then easily find related hockey material that is beneficial to them.
Next week I travel further up the coast to find out more about the history of hockey in Queensland.
Only a matter of time.